Hey everybody! Happy Monday! How are you? It's good to see you. You look great. Is that a new shirt? Is that new pants? No, you're not wearing pants. None of us are wearing pants. It's kind of been nice, right? Break from getting all dolled up. My sweatpants game is on. It's good to see you. Seriously, you look great. You look fucking great, dude. You look great. Me? I don't know. You know, I look like a homeless guy who someone like gave $80 to get a haircut. Yeah, they just found me under the BQE. They're like, here's $80. Go ahead and get your shit together. I'm about to get this flannel shirt. I'm gonna fucking get my beard waxed. I'm trying to twist the beard up a little bit. I don't know if I like that look. There's something very, how do I say, douchebaggy about it. But I'll have to buy some wax or something. You know what I mean? Like a little twist up. You know, you see those guys. You go, what are you know, I feel like they're overcompensating for something. What are you doing? It's like the convertible of beards when they do a little twist thing. Anyhow, I hope you're having a great day. And I'm going to be a little softer today. It's going to be like, what is that thing called that people like where you talk really softly? It's the, whatever it's called, where people get off on you whispering or whatever. I have it, where you get all tingly. I've always had that thing. And then I guess people started to discover that there's a big group of people that had it, like where people talk softly and then you get all tingly. I remember when I was in grade school, Freddie's sitting behind me. He's protesting. Every time I do this, he's like, really? An hour away from me. So I was in grade school, and I remember like somebody, I don't know, somebody was like flipping pages of a book, and I was like, oh yeah, oh, keep flipping. And it's like, I don't know what it is. I'll have to research it, but I know people like it. And I know someone wants me to do Owen Wilson recording those things. Like, you guys are doing great. Wow, look at you. You're so beautiful. I can't even believe how beautiful you are. So I don't know. Maybe there's maybe there's some money to be had there. Doing all the Owen Wilson doing the whispering thing. So I'm a little sick. I just want to get that out of the way because I'm feeling a little self-conscious about it, and I'd rather just get it on the table now. I lost my voice. I've got a little I've got some. I don't think it's COVID because I did get the vaccine. Whoop 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 woo! Got the fucking vaccine for polio. I'm on Medicaid, so that's all they could offer me. So I got about a half shot of polio, and then I got what else did I get? I got the chicken pox shot. They just mixed it all together. So it's a little bit of chicken pox, a little bit of polio, some tetanus. So, who's better than me? I'll be hanging around some rusty fences later. I don't know about you fucking pussies with your COVID vaccine. That ain't gonna protect you from no rust. Bitch. Yo, you fucking bitch. I gotta work on my Aaron Paul a little bit. Yo, Mr. White, you got the fucking vaccine. I don't want to strain the voice. I'm sorry. You're not gonna get any Aaron Paul today, are you? I lost all respect from him when he did that fucking I take responsibility video. Go suck a fucking virtue signal. I take responsibility. Yo, I take responsibility for slavery. That was on me. Yo, Mr. White, that's on me. I want to see another one of those videos where they're just taking responsibility for just like bogus shit. Yo, I take responsibility for the Aztec sacrifices of children. I take responsibility for nut allergies because I'm white. Enough of the white shame. Like, it's not helping. FYI, it's not helping. So anyways, I lost the voice from doing an outdoor show. I did an outdoor show in a tent and people were smoking cigarettes and cigars because we're fucking back to that being okay. We're in the middle of a pandemic. And that was one of the great things about this last year is people weren't out in the fucking street just fucking sucking them down the butts. And now we're back to, it's so, you probably maybe heard my episode with Sal Volcano where I talked about a woman smoking in a park and me getting so mad that I took her lit cigarette and put it in her pocketbook. If you want to know how I feel about it. And look, I smoked. I started smoking when I was 10 years old. I'm an absolute fucking survivor victim of big tobacco. I was addicted, man. I smoked for 10 years when I was 10. Think about that. That's crazy, man. My niece is like, I think my nephew's 9 or 10. It's like, it's so disturbing. Everybody knew. My teachers knew. My parents knew. They'd find cigarettes. No one did anything. So we're back to people feeling comfortable smoking on the street. And I don't know if it's because I smoked at such a young age that my body has like developed a rejection to it, but I have a terrible allergy to cigarette smoke. It shuts my system down if I'm ingesting it inhaling it for like more than a minute. So if I'm on the it's like fucking Pac-Man on the street of New York because everyone's smoking everywhere. You can't believe how many people smoke. It's like, don't we know what it does? Do you know how many people die a year from cigarettes? Take a guess. Play a little game. Let's play a little game. Let's play a little game. I don't know what movie that's from. It feels like it's from a movie. Let's play a game. Like Scream or something. Let's play a little game. How many people die? Bob Dylan sounds like those people who in those commercials who are like, doesn't Bob Dylan just sound like Cartman from South Park when he's like 75? But man, I need it. I saw Bob Dylan in concert and all I could think of was Cartman and it ruined it. But okay, did you have the number in your head without Googling it or DuckDuckGoing it? I switched to DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo doesn't fucking track your information and all that. So 5 million people die a year from cigarette smoke, from tobacco use. Riddle me this. Why is there a worldwide effort to end COVID on the basis of how many people it kills? And why is there not a worldwide effort to end the use of tobacco? How many people died this year from COVID in the world? Obviously, it's too many. It's a lot. It's fucking tragic. 2.5 million. So this year alone, double the amount of people will die from tobacco use. 5 million. So why don't we have double the amount of anger and social justice and calling people out for fucking tobacco use? We don't, and we never will. And that's crazy to me. It's why I'm not on board with like, shut it down, shut the whole fucking world down until COVID's cured. I'm not for that at all. Because if you're going to hold that standard for everything that causes mass damage. Why? So anyone under the age of fucking 70 who's really not at that high a risk of dying from COVID unless, you know, you have unless you're already sick or obese or whatever. It doesn't make sense to me. We have a small holocaust every year. 5 million people is a holocaust every single year in the world from tobacco use. Should be a fucking headline every day. So until it's like, don't do any of it or do it all. Have a standard. I hate this picking and choosing. Well, COVID's the thing that we're gonna, you know, get the whole world on board to end and you know, have people lose their livelihoods and their jobs, and suicide is up like 1,000% for young people. And okay, so why not do that for cigarettes? You know, people are yelling, people are just scolding and shaming people all over the place for not having a mask on, like when they're standing alone. I've been yelled at many times, alone in the park. People walk by. A guy ran his fucking bike onto the sidewalk to yell at me. He ran his bike onto the sidewalk, which is illegal, to yell at me for not having a mask on because I literally just finished a lunch sitting outside a restaurant. So why don't we go shame people for smoking? Either don't shame anybody or let's shame them all. Shame, 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 shame. Shame, 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 shame. Okay, I also probably shouldn't have done this, but I started listening to the Gulag Archipelago, I think that's how you say it, last night as I'm going to sleep. What a dumb idea. That was the book I put on to fall asleep. The Gulag Archipelago, which is written by Solzhenitsyn. I don't know these words. God damn. I just need to read Dr. Seuss. Keep it simple. Give me a mom on pop on mom on pop. Anyways, so I put on this. I've been wanting to read this book for a very long time. I believe the whole series is 1,800 pages, but essentially this is, and I don't have a whole lot of info, but I know the background. I think this guy basically wrote about communist Russia, and his writings were one of the reason that whole situation ended. But it's, from what I know, it's in great detail about the absolute horrors that took place. And I want to read it because I believe humans are absolutely capable of doing something like that again. That just happened. The Holocaust just happened. We need to be having kids reading these things so they understand. So anyways, that was a bad thing to go fall asleep to. So 5 million people die a year from smoking, and why aren't we doing anything about it? Probably because the government makes a ton of money from the taxes. So, yes, it's something I care very much about, and I've lost a lot of people in my life to cancer, heart attack, all tobacco related. You know, I know far more people who have died from that than have died from COVID. Doesn't make that any less awful, but I'm trying to figure out what my values are. Right, it's part of what I'm doing in the podcast is I'm just trying to work out what are my values, what are my standards, because I want to be as least hypocritical as possible. You know, and I think this sort of tribalism that we're headed towards or already in is something that I'm scared of and I don't want to be part of. And it's like, it feels very much like pick a team. So I'm just trying to take a step back, go, okay, we're doing this for COVID. Why don't we do it for prescription drug addiction? Why don't we do it for tobacco use? Why don't we do it for drunk driving deaths? I mean, you add up the deaths from tobacco use, prescription drug overdose, suicide. What else? So many things. Why doesn't that flip us out? We all know someone who's died of those things. I know so many people. Half of my friends growing up, and I'm not exaggerating, are dead. Suicide, drunk driving deaths, drug overdose. I mean, every year it's like it's another couple. How is that not a national emergency? You know, the risk for that is way higher than COVID for young people. Okay, let's turn this around. Let's turn the ship around, shall we? Tyler's getting dark. Tyler's going dark. That's the thing. I'm mostly dark. That's what people don't know about me. That's like most of my world is dark. But I'm trying to like incorporate it. into my life rather than be ashamed. Like I think about these things a lot, and I like to study them, and I study psychology, and I'm fascinated by evolution and by human behavior. But it's once I really started studying it, and it's when I'm not doing comedy, I'm studying that really just for my own interest. But humans are, good Lord, we're so flawed and we're so fucked up, and like we need to learn how to incorporate that into our life rather than hide from it. Because we're talking billions of years of evolution here. You can't just turn the car around and deny that these things are part of us. Good Lord Almighty! Look how many people were complicit in the Holocaust. That just happened. It just happened. In the scheme of time, that happened yesterday. In the scheme of time, since when humans started to evolve, it happened this morning. So I'm fascinated by it. Anyhow, I have an audition today that I want to share because this is good news. My first callback for a animated voice in a TV show, cartoon. So I'm very excited. This has been a dream of mine probably since I was a kid, and it took a long time to figure out how to get into that world. And the pandemic, the lockdown, sort of catapulted me. I got lucky. Talked about this with Mark Normand about, what makes you successful, what is success, how does it come about, and look, I've been trying to get into voiceover for a good 10 years. It took me 10 years. And I'm not resentful about that. I'm thrilled and thank God every day that I found a way in by luck, basically. And I've been working on developing my voice and all this stuff. So I did, it's like luck plus preparedness. Luck plus preparedness. So I'm doing I've got the callback at 4:15, and it's for the voice of a stuffed animal who's like, back to studying psychology, I would say like the stuffed animal has pretty severe borderline personality disorder. This is a really interesting character. Probably a little bit of narcissistic personality disorder as well. And I probably can't say too much about this, but it's just it's a really fun character. So I'm working on the voice for it. It's a 7-year-old, so I'm like trying to figure out what the voice is. But I thought, like, what if I just like did Trump's voice and just denied that's what I was doing in the callback. See, this is the part of my brain that destroys my dreams, because I'm like, that would be more fun to just sabotage this thing and to just do Trump's voice for a 7-year-old stuffed animal and then deny that that's what I'm doing at all. They're like, all right, Tyler, we really loved your audition read, and we just want to see what you've developed for the voice of this rabbit. So, we want you to make it your own, and we're excited to see what you're bringing to the table today. So, okay, let me just get the script up here. Okay, and just a little background: this scene takes place. They're hanging out your character's at a friend's house, and they're playing marbles, and they get in a little fight. Okay, so we want some tension, but we don't want too much anger. So let's just see what you got there. Okay, here we go. So frankly, these are my marbles, and sorry, Tyler, just let's start that again. I think maybe your throat was a little clogged. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have a little cold. Let me just start over again. So frankly, you're being very nasty. You're a nasty friend, and you're at my house playing with. Last time I checked, these are my marbles.
But I'm going to have to deport you, okay? I'm going to deport you from my house. Tyler, I'm sorry. Are you okay? What's that? Are you feeling okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, it just didn't really sound like your audition. Well, I'm just doing something a little different with it. So let me continue. Frankly, we're going to have to build a wall, okay? So we're going to build a wall out of Legos. And I'm going to keep you out of my bedroom because you're coming in, and these are very unfair deals we're doing here. And frankly, the interest is criminal because you're borrowing my marbles and you're not paying interest. So I'm going to build a wall, and you're going to have to talk to Secretary Pence over here, who's going to make a deal because you're robbing us blind, frankly, and you're being very nasty, and I'm going to grab you by the yo-yo, okay? I'm going to grab you by the yo. Okay, you know what? I think we've heard enough for today. Okay. So when will you let me know? We'll let you know. Okay, so you'll reach out to me? Yeah, we'll let you know. Thank you. Bye-bye. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. And, God. Oh, God, I want to do it so bad. And it's over Zoom, and I could film it. Ugh. I could film it and put it on the internet. Oh, my God. And just absolutely never admit that I'm doing Trump. Like, I'll just flip it on them, reverse psychology. I'm like, you guys, I'm doing like a sweet little rabbit voice. I don't know, maybe there's a bad connection or something, but I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I am not doing Trump. I'm not doing Trump rabbit, little Trump rabbit. So that's maybe what I'll do. Maybe not, but God, I have therapy tomorrow. I should start doing this podcast after therapy, just to kind of get some of these. I basically just do my podcast to my therapist first, and then he's like, no, don't say that. Don't do that. Maybe don't go there. And then by the time I'm done with therapy, I have my list of things to talk about in the podcast. So, how many masks are you wearing? And that's funny too, is like you can see the double maskers who are, and I don't care if you wear two masks, that's fine. But like now I could see people kind of looking down on me for only having one mask on. And I'm also going to be reading for the voice of Fauci in a animated show or something. So I got to work on the old vouchers, but nobody challenges that guy. If you go back and watch, I mean, last year he literally said, and this is the pandemic master, right? This is his expertise. Go watch an interview on 60 Minutes where he was like, during outbreaks, masks don't help. They don't help. Not during COVID, not during this, during outbreaks, they don't help. It might protect the droplet. See, now I'm just doing Cuomo. I'm stuck in Cuomo land. It might protect the droplet, okay? All right? The masks don't help. So he says they don't help during pandemics. And then suddenly he switches. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, you didn't explain why. Like, there's no accountability for this fucking guy. So I'm just a little fed up and a fucking mad. And I just want to live my life again. This is my other theory, is like all these politicians and these scientists, these doctors. I think Fauci's just, I think he wants to keep us inside. I do. I think he wants to keep us inside because he, was just a science nerd growing up, obviously didn't get invited to the parties, and now he's happy to see everybody stuck inside. That's what I think's going on. You need to stay inside. We have to protect. We'll stay inside for another, I'd say, 5 years, and then we can reassess what's happening, and then maybe 10 years from then, you can see your friends. But we should all stay inside.
See, I can't do it. And I gotta save the voice for the cartoon. But I was going running before all this a lot, and I stopped running. But what's the deal with people questioning those who run? You know what I'm talking about. I used to run. My friend's like, "What are you running from, dude? What are you running from?" You know that's what runners do, right? They're running from their problems. It's like, they're like just trying to stay healthy, man. Why are you shitting on this? What are you running from? Like, well, I'm running from this conversation because you're a fucking douchebag, okay? You're running from something. What? Nobody does that with any other sports where you go from point A to point B. Hey, man, what are you cross-country skiing from? You ever ask yourself that? Maybe you have some addictions or something some demons you're not dealing with. What are you skiing from, dude? What are you tobogganing from? Have you asked yourself that? Look in the mirror, okay? Tyler, what are you bobsledding from? You're getting in that bobsled and you're fucking sledding away from your problems. I just think that's interesting. What are they running from? Questioning other people from getting healthy. City's a piece of shit. It's a total piece of shit. I'm actually scared walking down the street now. I never really used to be. But like, fuck. Crime is way up, and I'm on the cusp of a good neighborhood and a very dangerous neighborhood. So let's just say it bleeds over a bit here and there. And there's some shootings and stabbings and whatnot. Man, and I've been, I don't know if you want to call it assaulted, but certainly provoked into fighting many times. Guy came up to me the other day and I'm crossing the street, he's walking towards me, and he just punches me in the arm. Oh, man. And I got my little fucking Labradoodle on my walking, and I'm like, I gotta fight this guy with a dog on my... It took a lot of restraint to get out of that. And he starts going, what? There's people literally just walking around my neighborhood, just provoking people. Another guy came up to me, he's just doing the pump fake at me in the park. I don't know. Am I thinking about getting a gun? I don't know. It'd be nice to have a gun when someone comes up and starts punching you. That'd be good. Or something. Some kind of weapon. Bag of pennies or something. And then I keep hearing people say how it's like the 80s. People think it's cool. It's going to be like the 80s again. People have this nostalgia for like the rundown sort of grimy city you see, and like a Scorsese and like Taxi Driver. People like that. But yeah, it's like the 80s, but without the fun shit. There was still fun shit to do in the 80s. There's nothing to do now. You know, in the 80s, at least, like, you can fuck somebody for like $8 in Times Square. You get laid, at least for something to do. Now, getting fucked in Times Square basically means you paid $400 to take your family to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. That's what getting fucked means in Times Square. Getting fucked in Times Square means you paid half your fucking rent at the M&M store. That's what getting fucked in Times Square means in 2021. You know, getting fucked in Times Square means you spent half your savings on bubblegum shrimp because they're ripping you off. We have an opportunity, though. It's so weird. It's like this has been like a human relationship cleanse, right? You ever do a cleanse and you cut everything out, and then you slowly start to fold these foods back in to see what maybe you're allergic to? I feel like we have a chance to do that with relationships. Because most of them have stopped, and it's like, well, who do I miss? Who, disappeared? Who, gave me rabies? So that's good, though, I think. Who do you want to spend your time with? Time's valuable. You really realize how valuable time is. And looks like it's just dogs for me. Well, we must talk about it because last night was the 4th episode of. I apologize for being a little low energy, but I'm fighting something here. Some kind of fucking smoke-related disease from goddamn cigar smoke blowing in my face. Can't shame him. God forbid. God forbid. You'd shame someone for not wearing 9 masks, but you can't shame someone for smoking an 8-foot cigar, blowing it into a tent when you're performing your jokes. But episode 4 of the Woody Allen doc last night. Not a whole lot of groundbreaking stuff happened. I'm not sure we learned a whole lot. And he won't be charged with anything, and he won't go to jail, and he'll continue to make 9,000 movies a year. And the people who don't want to watch his films won't. People who do will. I don't know. I can't say he did or didn't do it. I'm not willing to say it like I know it's a fact. He may have and he may not have. And if he did, I feel really bad for the girl. And if he didn't, I feel bad for him. So it's weird. But if you believe he did do it, you also have to believe that the entire system at the Yale child psychology unit is corrupt. So that you'd also have to believe that. And it's not impossible that happened. But a friend was like, I feel so bad we were doing the impression of him, because they also did an impression of him. And I'm like, I don't feel bad that I do an impression of Woody Allen. It's not, you're not advocating molestation if you do an impression of somebody. I in fact, I was submitting tapes to do stand up on Jimmy Kimmel. This was a few years back, and it was like a year. You basically, if you're going to do a late night talk show, oftentimes the booker will reach out to you and they'll say, send me a 5-minute tape, and you send them the tape, and then they'll go, I don't like this joke or this joke, let's try another one. And I did a lot of impressions in that tape because I thought that, that'll help me stand out if I'm a comedian doing impressions on the show. And the booker was like, you can't do Woody Allen. You can't do him because he's too controversial. I'm like, I'm not doing Woody Allen like in a good light. I'm making fun of Woody Allen. That's what you do with impressions. So I had to take it out, which I thought was ridiculous. Like, I don't know. The whole fucking Bill Cosby thing, I believe, was catapulted by Hannibal Buress talking about in his stand-up. Like, it's just bonkers. So I thought, why wouldn't I want to get Woody Allen back into the limelight and whatever, if there needs to be another investigation, whatever. That wasn't even the point of it. It was just a fucking impression. So she made me take that out, and then she was like, can't do Ryan Gosling. Jimmy Kimmel's friends with him. Can't make fun of him. I was like, you fucking serious? And down the list, can't do that. Jimmy knows him. And then I was down to like fucking Jimmy Stewart, who no one would even know who that is if they're under 30 years old. Long story short, I never did Jimmy Kimmel. And I don't really give a shit because I want to do what I think is funny. I'd love to do a late night show, but I thought all those reasons were ridiculous. But it's funny that my friend felt bad about doing the impression, and they're welcome to not do it anymore. I'm definitely going to. And it's funny because a few years ago, I did, someone reached out and they're like, hey, can you do your Woody Allen for this sketch? And I read the sketch and it was fucking hilarious. Basically, the sketch was like a 12-step meeting, like an AA meeting for comedians who did impressions of comedians who got Me Too'd, and they were no longer allowed to do the impressions because these people were outed or in jail or whatever. And I thought it was so funny. And so it's all of these impressionists that have to go to this 12-step meeting to be like, you know, Bill Cosby was my bread and butter. That's what got me into the comedy clubs, and that's what got me notoriety, and I can't do it anymore. So it's all of these comedians, these like, you know, up and coming comedians who aren't allowed to do their celebrity impressions anymore. Brilliant, I thought. Brilliant sketch. So I'll end the podcast, and I'm just gonna I'll play the whole sketch. So that's the concept: is comedians 12-step meeting who are trying to heal from not being able to do their bread and butter impressions.
Well, I just want to begin by saying this is a safe space. We had some great breakthroughs last week, and I hope we can just continue to be vulnerable with each other. Kevin, would you like to go first?
Yeah, thank you, Cheryl. So I went to a dinner party last night, and go figure, it was in the Upper East Side. I mean, everyone there had probably seen Bananas. I mean, these were my people, and the women were gorgeous. I mean, dynamite. I could have easily gotten one of them to go to bed with me, if I had done my Woody. And, the hardest part was, there was a clarinet there. I mean, I learned the clarinet specifically for the impression, but, I'm sure you've seen the New York Times articles, I haven't been able to do Woody in years. So I resisted, I didn't do it. And I didn't get laid. And it was really hard.
Yes, that must have been very hard for you. Well, Kevin, today marks a great accomplishment.
My name is Kevin, and I've been unfunny for 3 years.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Well, it's very important to remember that just because the celebrities we used to do impressions of have been disgraced, that does not mean that we are disgraces, yeah? Trent, would you like to go next?
Thank you! Sure. I've been coming to these meetings longer than just about anybody. And I'm still having a rough time accepting what is. I've always been the funny guy. That was me. Until Hannibal Buress. He came to the mic and said the things. He made the country very mad about the things.
Hey, people, we've been over this so many times. Trent, please continue.
I have to face facts. I'm not the funny guy anymore. I'm just Trent, the actuary. I have been working on a Tracy Morgan impression. Yo, Liz Lemon! You think I'm Brian Fellows? Nah.
That's an admirable start, Trent.
Yeah, maybe you could do it more like a...
Hey, Liz Lemon! I got a two-car crash!
Okay, let's just remember why we're here. Dave, is there anything you'd like to add?
Birthday!
Jesus Christ.
Meals in the jello.
That's fine. Let's move on. Vernon, I believe you're next. Vernon.
Hey, you know, I relapsed again like an asshole. I got fucking drunk, and I did an open mic, and I just started talking about how I was just jerking off all day, just jerking off like an asshole, you know. So you know, it's all day, and I went home and I ate a whole Cinnabon like an animal, like not even a human, and I just talking about how I hate my wife and my kids. My kids, they're my kids, and I fucking hate them. Gotta reshoot my whole acting reel. But you know, at least we'll always have walk-in.
We'll always have walk-in.
That's right. We'll always have walk-in.
They would always have walking. And it was a good thing, too. Can't ever be too sure what life will take from you. Gotta hold on to what...
Marty, could you join the group, please? You can't do a Morgan Freeman voiceover anymore either.
Really?
So I hope you enjoyed it, and I won't be doing Woody anymore. So this is the last time, and I sold my clarinet. I'm leaving New York, and that's it. I got nothing, you know. I can't rely on my subway jokes or any of that. I'm done. I'm done. It's been a good ride. Guys, thanks for watching, listening. This will be on YouTube tomorrow. If you'd like to support the podcast, thanks for bearing with my whispery voice. Patreon.com/Tyler Talks is the way to support this show. You pay what you want monthly. You get a free Zoom show. I'm going to be announcing the next date, which will be at the end of March. It will be a private Zoom stand-up show for my patrons. And can't thank you all enough for listening. Drop a comment on the YouTube video. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Leave a review on iTunes if you like the show. And comment. Helps the video get notarized. You can say whatever you want. Heckle me. I'll take anything. So, thanks again. Have a great week. Do something nice for yourselves.